Hi, everybody, and welcome to this very, very special quick podcast between myself, Merv Neil from Melbourne, and
Bianca Spears from Sydney.
we didn't even rehearse that, and we got it right. Well done us.
What a team.
And essentially, this is just a chat amongst friends to see if we can assist some other friends in the laughter community to go to that next level of expertise, professionalism, whatever it is. So the basic training is great. That gets you on the board and out in the street doing something. But then if you want to go to the next step, there's just some hints and tips that you can be aware of, which from some seasoned people who have been there and done it might be able to assist you. So Bianca, a quick intro about your amazing self would be great.
Yeah, so I trained with Merv in Laughter Yoga in 2015.
Oh, really?
Um,
Oh, my
yeah.
Lord.
And I'm also a life coach in my background. My jam these days is merging the two, which we'll talk a little bit about later, and bringing laughter and play into coaching and vice versa, to help people get even deeper results. Yeah, laughter is a very big part of what I love to do with clients.
Yeah, wonderful. I've been doing this for more than 20 years now. I'm the CEO of Laughter Yoga Australia. Had this as my business since 2005, I think, but didn't go full time until about 2010, just after the global financial crisis. And I thought, well, here is an opportunity with the world in financial stress and distress. Guess
Mm,
where we are again now in 2026? We're in a similar situation. So,
yeah.
what are the steps that you need to do to get to that next level of professionalism? So, I'm going to start off, if that's okay, Bianca,
Yeah.
with the
Seeing as I've
first.
roped you into this conversation.
I love getting roped into any sort of conversation, especially with people like yourself. So the first thing that I did, I've always had a business mentor. I think that was important. You're a coach. I've always had
Mm,
mentors, and these mentors always challenge your thinking and go, "Really, is that really what you want to do? Are you crystal clear about that?"
mm,
Whereas a coach is very much a support mechanism to help you get there. So both are really important. And I went to my business mentor and I said, "What should I do?" And he said, "Well, what's the end game?" I said, "Well, with this laughter stuff," I said, "I want to be an established authority, and then I want to get up on the big stages and talk to people about it and let them know what I've learned along the way." He said, "Why don't you become a professional speaker?" I said, "Well, if I do, I've probably got to do something." And he was in National Speakers Association at that stage. And he said, "Why don't you join me in NSAA?" And I said, "Who are they and what are they all about?" And I said, "Is that Toastmasters?" And he goes, "No, Toastmasters teaches you how to speak." He said, "National Speakers teaches you how to professionally speak and make a business out of it." So I joined NSAA and I was there for 10 years and I hung out with the best of the best and got as much information out of them as I could. But more importantly, watch them. And when you watch the best of the best doing what they do so well, you don't know what it is they're doing well until you go up and talk to them and say, "Why are you so great?" And it often comes down to 10,000 hours of practice is what I do. And the best practice you can ever get is on stage. So that was my 10 years in NSAA. It was absolutely fantastic to let me know to be a good speaker, not even a great speaker, takes a lot of practice, a lot of hints and tips and ideas, along with some dedication to stumbling and falling and really crafting what it is you do to
mm.
that next professional level. You've got an experience, I believe, with Toastmasters.
Yeah, I've done Toastmasters. Well, I'm not doing it at the moment, but I did it for a couple of years and I found it to be really helpful in the ways that you've said, like those little tips and tidbits. I would say, yeah, Toastmasters is probably more amateur than what you're speaking about, but it helps you. I went in and you get to have your own goal, right? For
Yeah,
me,
yeah,
I didn't stick to this goal, to be honest, but I was like, if I want to get one day, if I want to be a TEDx speaker or a
yeah,
TED Talk speaker, I am not at that level. I can present well, I can speak well,
yeah.
but I am not at that level. So, what can I do to get there? And I found it really good. And what you said just then, where I was like, yes, it's a craft. And intentionally taking those tips that you get and the information in Toastmasters. You've got projects that you do and you learn a bit in there. But the most was from other members, to be perfectly honest, and evaluations that they get. I think that's where I got my gold. And taking that, and really, I had one friend who was in there on one particular speech I was planning, and she was like, but what's the point? Like, what do you want to deliver to the audience? Like, what do you want to? She was really making me hone it down. And it was one of the best speeches I delivered because I'd thought so much about it. I'd crafted it. I knew where I was going to be standing at particular points in the talk. And all of these are skills that can be brought into any facilitation, whether it's a workshop, whether it's speaking on stage, whether it's running a laughter yoga or laughter wellness workshop in person. They're all valuable skills to have, not shaking your leg while you're talking and being able to stand still. All of these things are not that was something that I do, but cutting out words like so and all those little things, those
Yep.
little crutch words that you might have.
Yeah.
I found it really helpful.
Yeah, I definitely get amused when people go, I'm going to do a TED talk. And I'm going, do you know the criteria about doing a TED talk? You might have a great story, but not everybody gets to do a TED talk. And I certainly found that when I thought I was ready and I approached TEDx, which is
Mm-hmm.
the mini TED, and the local chapter here, and I said, I reckon I'm good enough. And they said, you nearly were, but we're going to keep you on your books. And then I got a call from them one day and said, we're having a 3 minute TED coming together, sort of a drop the mic night where you've got 3 minutes on stage as TEDx. I'm going, that'll do. And to be able to hone it down to 3 minutes, my whole
Yeah.
life and what it is I want to do is a real skill. So Toastmasters,
Yeah.
National Speakers Association, absolutely fantastic because we're on stage when we're doing what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
My second thing was I was involved with the Australian Institute of Management at the stage, and they said, oh, if you're going to be a trainer or getting into training and assessment, you need to have a Cert 4 in training and assessment. So I went along and did a course on how to be a good trainer. And what amuses and disturbs me, Bianca, sometimes is some people go, oh, how hard can it be to train somebody else? Well, go and tell a teacher that with kids, they won't say, oh, it's the easiest thing we've ever done. So I did this Cert 4 in training and assessment, not just to get the document, but to be a better trainer. And
Mm.
I think we need to appreciate that training is yet another skill. It's good to have all this information, but to impart it onto another human being is a skill. What's your thoughts on that?
I completely agree. And I was fortunate enough to be trained in laughter wellness by Connie Costa, who was a trained school teacher.
She is.
And the way that she put the delivery of the training together, the way she supported us, what she included, her feedback systems, like all of it was really well done. And I think, yeah, weaving through my own path of different courses and things I've done, you need to learn about how people learn, how they
Yeah.
take in information, how
Yes.
you can most clearly communicate things, because some people are visual learners, some people are kinesthetic, some people are falling asleep while you're talking, but if you move their body, they will get it, right? And you need to understand these things in order to better serve the audience
Yeah.
and for your points to land when you're speaking with them.
Yeah, nice. I hope someone took down the note of you need to learn how people learn. That's
Yeah,
it in a nutshell. And if you don't know how they learn, you can deliver it this way and just miss it by a million miles there.
yeah,
My third
absolutely.
point was facilitation. So one of the things that I delved into was to become a professional facilitator. And
Mm,
I would facilitate high level meetings of boards and senior directors and executives, people at a very, very high level who are very, very driven. And I was thrown in there to facilitate a conversation with these people, coming at each other at a million miles an hour. And those facilitation skills, the best thing you can learn to be a good facilitator is to read the room. Read the room because
mm,
everyone was talking, talking, talking. I'm going, yeah, but exactly what is it they're talking about? Like your friend with Toastmasters, what's your point? Have you really drilled down to the
mm.
point, etc.? So the ability to read a room and facilitate a laughter session, a meeting, a training, or something like that is once again a specific skill. So I did once again some professional development in that area and then did it at the highest level with people with very, very important topics, important people, important businesses, I'm going, wow, I'm responsible for this. So I got really good at reading the room, reading people, understanding where people are coming from, but then drawing them all together so that at the end of it, they can say, wow, that was a great experience. What's your thoughts on that, Bianca?
My thoughts are this: the connection,
Yes.
bringing
Yes.
people together and creating a culture and a community
Yep.
in your facilitation is definitely a skill in and of itself,
Yep.
but something that makes it so much more memorable for people because they make friends, they connect with people, they bond, not just through the laughter. Yes, they've built oxytocin, but they're really connecting. Like even before you start laughter, if you're running a laughter session, you can bring some of that in and have a culture of where it's like, okay, if it feels awkward, that's okay, we're going to keep laughing. Like you can plant these like rules of play for people so that they're all playing the same game. And second to that, I think especially in today's day and age, it's important to understand a little bit about what's going on underneath, so
Yeah.
being trauma aware,
Yes.
um, understanding a little bit about neurodivergence. You don't have to be an ADHD and autism like expert by any means, but just understanding perhaps some of the signs, some of the things you can do if people are in that space to be able to help them come along for the journey as well and make them comfortable, help them to understand. Those kinds of things are really important. And facilitation, again, it's a craft of its own,
Yep.
especially, I guess, in some of the retreats and workshops and things that I've run, facilitating people through heavy emotions to come back through to light. You need to be able to be okay with people breaking down, with people crying, even in coaching sessions, to be honest. Like, I've spoken to people who are literally suicidal early in my coaching, and I'm like, what do I do
Whoa.
here?
Yeah.
And the more, again, through experience, the more you facilitate in different scenarios with different groups of people, with on different topics, you're going to build your experience and build your capacity to hold space and a safe and held container for people to do whatever it is that you're facilitating.
Yeah. Something interesting there. If you're doing your craft well, people will open up. And
Mm.
that's when it gets awkward. So you're actually walking down a path that you don't want to go down, but you're so good at it that that's where you end up. So that's really interesting, and be able to hold that space for people when they do get to that stage is once again quite specific. My fourth one, we've got five, and then we want to talk about something exciting that you've got going on. Is when we went online, everybody said, "Well, how hard can this be?" Well, it's a totally different skill set once again. And COVID saw the rise of TikTok and Instagram and these sorts of things where people were really, really good at delivering a message online. So, once again, and I still do probably 40% of my work online, and it's about more professional development. And if you're going online, what are the specific things that you need to do? Those little bits and pieces so that you can get that real connection to others and be able to deliver your craft online. So this is a gift that COVID gave us. It said you can do it a different way, but as long as you're good at it. So give us a couple of ideas or tips about how you are so good at doing what you do online.
Again, building that community and that connection is really important for me. So things like breakout rooms on Zoom, you can pop
Yep.
people in for a 5-minute conversation where they get to know someone at the start of the workshop or something. So
Wonderful.
then they've got a friend, they've got a buddy, they're feeling comfortable.
Yep.
Or in a laughter session, it might be like, okay, we've done the laughter session and now you're going to go away with a friend. You've got 5 minutes to create your own laughter exercise. And now you come back out and show the group or something like that. So making it interactive and making it fun rather than people just staring at a screen, and that, like, if they could basically just press play on a YouTube video, then you're not worth your money. Like, it needs to be engaging, it needs to be interactive. Merv, you also taught me about the polls in Zoom
Oh,
during the
yes. Yes.
pandemic.
Yep.
And particularly in a laughter session where we check in and we say, what are you feeling out of 10? And then again at the end, what are you feeling out of 10?
Yep.
Those polls are great statistics to use later in your business for marketing, because it's like 60% of people were a 6 or less out of 10 at the start of the session, and 80% of people were, 7 or above at the end of a half-hour session.
It's it's
So
it's data. It's data.
it's data, but it also makes them check in. And whether you're running a laughter session or not, the polls can be a really helpful thing to do online.
Yep, they can. And one thing you just said about those breakout rooms, get two people to go off and create a laughter exercise and come back. I've never done that before, but guess what I'm going to do at my next session, right? I don't think this podcast was about anyone else except you or me, actually. So well done, us. And
Just taking notes from each other.
and my fifth one, and I've been blessed with this because I've been in business since the age of 12. I'll let you work out how long ago that was. But I've always been good at business. And I think having those basic business skills is something that if you've been working for someone, working for a business for 10, 20, 30 years, you go, how hard can it be to run your own business? And once again, it's a different set of skills, but it's about being a bit of a risk taker as well, too, because all of a sudden your destiny is in your own hands. So I have created the 2-day business training. I'll give my plug for my product now if you want to know more about
Yeah,
that.
go for it.
And it's about understanding what business is, how to market yourself at a business level, how to understand what to charge and all that sort of stuff. So that's been my blessing. You have created something quite new and fascinating, Bianca, to help people develop. What's that all about?
I have. Well, over the years, as I mentioned at the start, I've been kind of mashing the worlds together with coaching, with neuroplasticity, which just basically means our brain's ability to rewire and change the pathways and therefore change our experience or our ideas or our ways of thinking about things. Bringing in play, bringing in laughter, and nervous system regulation. Because when I started out in coaching, I knew a little bit about survival mode. But today, with how stressed everyone is, it's very rare that you're going to get someone who's not stressed, overwhelmed, or maybe even depressed
Yep.
coming into your space. And you really need to know what that means and how you can help them because I read stats on a global happiness study and it absolutely broke my heart. It was like 42% of people, I think I'm very bad at remembering stats, but 42% of people in this study said they don't remember what happiness feels like.
Yeah.
And it's like if you're coaching in a normal way and you're sitting like talk therapy, you're only using the front of your brain, your thinking mind, your ration, your reason, your logic, and a lot of our emotions are stored within our body. A lot of our beliefs and things are more primal from very young childhood ages, are stored in the base of our brain where we don't have logic or rational reason, we just have instinct. So, what I've been doing over the last few years, or 9 years to be exact, is bringing these worlds together and accidentally creating what I call the neuroplastic way, which is a methodology that I use in workshops, in coaching, in laughter sessions, in just being able to get clients that little bit deeper in their work because we're using the brain and the body if we're in a coaching session. If we're in a laughter session, we're looking at, okay, how can we regulate the nervous system even further? How can we bring in some of the facilitation skills that we've spoken about today and more? So it's a 4 months training that I've put together,
Oh, wow.
helping people to really dive into more laughter and play and understanding. It's a bit of personal development along the way because as a facilitator, it always starts with you. If your relationship with play is awkward, you're going to be really awkward facilitating play for
I,
other people.
I will admit, as a seasoned business person, that was my biggest struggle is to play and let go and go, how does this work? So that was a challenge for me. So I went to school teachers and I said, how do I play? You do it so well. So your neuroplasticity
Yeah,
workshop
play
is all
specific. Yeah.
about play. And what's going to happen in here once they complete this 4 months training, Bianca?
What's going to happen in here for the facilitators who come through is that they're going to have the scientific understanding of why we would use these elements, being neuroplasticity, nervous system regulation, play, and laughter, how those things can help them to transform their clients. And being a bit of a chef with those ingredients, being able to, yes, have examples from what I'm sharing with them, but coming through the training, they're going to get a lot of practice, a lot of evaluation, a lot of feedback on their facilitation so that they can learn and grow and ingrain this way. That's why I call it a way. It's like a methodology, but it's a way of being. So you're weaving that into laughter sessions or coaching or whatever it is you already do to deepen the results and to bring something a little bit different for laughter yoga because you're probably not going to log on to ChatGPT and ask it to run you through a laughter session. But for coaches and for therapists, people are literally going to AI and getting the
Yep.
information and getting coached through
Yes.
things. You can bring so much more when you're facilitating someone into their bodies than just what the AI can bring, just talking them through things. You can help them to release emotions. You can help them, and the changes are so much more rapid than just talking because we're bringing all of those parts online. Setting up the brain to rewire at an like setting an optimal like fertile ground, let's say,
Yeah.
for rewiring the brain.
Yeah.
And also, we're bringing lightness and play. And as I mentioned, if 42% of people have forgotten what happiness is like, and you're the facilitator who can help them to reconnect to that happiness in a true way, that's a really beautiful thing. So,
It is indeed. And one, I love little sayings that people give me. And you mentioned you become a chef. And a saying that I heard some time ago now was cooks use recipes,
mhm,
chefs use understanding. And I'm going,
yes,
oh, so
that's exactly it. Yeah.
if you want to be a cook, go to ChatGPT because it will tell you the steps and the recipe, the ingredients, but it won't give you the true understanding. And if that's what your 4 months training is going to do, that will be hugely invaluable for people wanting to go to the next level. And I think everybody does. And certainly what you said before, the world is crazy at the moment. It's gone to a level like we've never seen before. And with Chat GPT and how people are relying on it, we need to go to that next level above that to
Mhm.
be chefs and help people through it. The
Absolutely.
links for your program, which is called,
The neuroplastic way facilitator training.
that's what it is. And my 2 day business training will be in the link here. Bianca, this was the first of these. I hope it's not the last. It's been fun. I need to go away and implement
Great.
the notes that I've taken from you, and hopefully people will get something out of this. And just pick up the phone or send an email and inquire about the opportunities that we have available for you. It's going to cost you nothing to talk to us about it to see if it's going to be a good suit for you. Thank you, Bianca. I'm going to sign off
Thank
now.
you.
It's been lovely talking to you. Let's do this again soon sometime, eh?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.